Good evening and welcome to season 3 of the Pressbox. I am Shayla Solomon, your host for this episode. The U.S. Virgin Islands has had its share of challenges in the last 5 years, from hurricanes to a global pandemic. But through it all, our tourism product has remained resilient. Today, the U.S. Virgin Islands is among the top vacation destinations in the Caribbean. Joining us for a conversation about the territory's successes in tourism and the new experiences to come are USVI Tourism Commissioner Joseph Bushelty and Assistant Commissioner Alani Henneman-Todman. Later in the show, we will hear from Kurt Wixton, Managing Director of the new Frenchman's Reef, and from Tourism Division of Festivals, Director Ian Turnbull. There's lots to cover in today's show, so let's go ahead and begin. Welcome, Commissioner Bushelty and Assistant Commissioner Henneman-Todman. Now, I consider you guys the dynamic duo. You have an excellent team at the Department of Tourism, and there's so much that I'm looking forward to talk about today. But we're going to kick off our conversation with the news of the week. On Monday, Governor Albert Bryan Jr. talked about a 60-year lease. We're looking at the redevelopment of Hotel on the Key, and we're going to start this segment talking about the hotel industry. We know how important it is to make sure that we can have lodging for our guests, especially our overnight guests. So let's talk about the redevelopment of Hotel on the Key on St. Croix.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you for welcoming us. We appreciate that. And on behalf of the tourism staff, we appreciate all you do for the VI, and you're one of our best ambassadors, so thank you.
Stop it.
So, but back to Hotel on the Key, we're ecstatic in tourism for that. I mean, as a tourism head, a part of a great team, it's really important to have hotels as an overnight destination, right? Because if you don't have rooms, it's difficult to have the conversations with the airlines, because one of the first questions they ask is, how many rooms do you have? How many new rooms do you have bringing on? And we've had conversations almost daily with regards to new properties.
Excellent.
So with that deal happening, it was great. On St. Croix, it brings even a brighter gleam to my eyes, because we need those types of properties on St. Croix to build the inventory, but also to build a brand. One of the decisions that our department made early on, actually before the pandemic, was to brand St. Croix as its own destination.
Yes.
Because it's important for St. Croix to shine in its own assets, what it brings to leisure guests. And we sometimes lose sight of our leisure guests community. It's not just people who want beach and pool. I mean, there's a whole environment out there of people who appreciate experiences, outdoor, moving around. And it's our job, Alani, and our team, to go out and find these people. So you may have somebody that loves to come in and wants to sit and stay at the Frenchman's Reef for a week. And then you have somebody else who says, hey, I want to be on my own island, Hotel on the Key, and do that for a week. So we're excited with that. We're hopeful that sometimes you have to get a deal done to get others to come. So our hope is that with the Hotel on the Key deal now, with that lease being signed, and other investors and developers can see that the USVI is again moving. We have a wonderful incentive package through the Hotel Act that allows for hotels to use some of their taxes to finance the construction and development. And I think as we start to get these in place now and people can see them, then I think we'll see more and more interest.
So that's a good transition point now. So would you say that we are able to now see and potentially see a comeback for our hotel industry?
Yeah, I think so. I think that there's tremendous demand for the USVI brand. I mean, we've done a wonderful job in marketing the wonderful attributes of the territory throughout the pandemic to the overnight guests. Yes. So that has happened. And what we found is, we parlayed a very unique situation of the pandemic, led by Governor Bryan and Lieutenant Governor Roach and Commissioner Encarnacion, in making sure, first and foremost, that the residents were safe. Correct. And then our visitors were safe. But at the same time, we took an opportunity of our traveler in the USVI is the United States, the continental United States person that lives there. So for us, 95% of our people came from the US. Yes. And what people don't really fully understand is the US traveler was traveling the entire time. There were no curfews. The airports were open. It was just their conviction and comfort to travel.
Correct.
So the airports were open and people traveled. So when we opened in June of 2020, it provided us an opportunity to safely open and keep the economy moving. And I think throughout the pandemic, what we found is our residents started to recognize that, wait, the overnight guests, they go out for breakfast, they go to coffee, they eat lunch, they go to dinner, they go to happy hour, they go to drinks after dinner,
in
and everything. And so there were many opportunities for our residents now to become true investors in our tourism product.
Yes.
And what the best example of that is our sharing economy, Airbnb, VRBO. We're one of the few destinations right now that has more sharing economy rooms than traditional hotel rooms.
So our occupancy right now, taking a look at our occupancy numbers, would you say that we are able to maybe surpass our pre-COVID numbers?
Well, I think in terms of hotel rooms and occupancy, yes, we have done that already. I think where we are now with Frenchman's coming back online in the upcoming months, the Sugar Bay property was sold, Hotel on the Key we're starting to see movement. And I think for us, as we plan for tourism activities for the territory, yes, we have to look at the present, but part of our jobs is also to plan for the future. So we want to make sure that when we have these conversations with the airlines, it's about the winter season, but we're also pushing for the summer and next season. And part of our pitch is we're going to be bigger and better.
Yes.
We have more traditional rooms coming online. We have a well-oiled, go ahead, Lenny. jump on it.
We have new development, and in this industry, new and shiny,
they love it.
They love it.
They love it.
As soon as you say, we did the lease for, it'll be renovated and it'll be something new.
They want to come.
They want to come.
So are we going to have an increase in flights now to accommodate these? We have the new developments, we have the new hotels. Are we going to see increase in flights?
Well, that's a hard job for the commissioner. He has to sell that
I think we have 2 out of the 3 boxes checked.
Right.
So we have big demand, we have inventory. Now the part that our struggle is we're concerned about the headwinds that are happening right now in the airline industry. So if I was to give an illustration, it's almost like you take a flight when the pandemic started and we moved into the pandemic, it was a difficult takeoff for the flight. So you were bumpy, you didn't know what was going on. Then we reached the cruising altitude for 18 months and we were very good. Smooth flight, no seatbelts on, things were going good, drinks were rolling in coach and first class. Things were great.
We good.
And now we're moving back into the pilot came on and said, hey, we're going into some headwinds and we got some turbulence. And the turbulence and the headwinds for us for this winter season and probably through much of 2023 is the anticipated recession. And we expect to see consumer behaviors change. The stimulus money is going to be spent, unemployment spent.
Because we're always impacted by what happens.
Very much so. And we are, but as I mentioned, a U.S. destination. And then the second one of concern for us is the industry struggles with the pilots and the crew and the assets. So our demand is strong. I mean, we look at the numbers every day. Our flights are coming in 98, 100% full in both districts.
I could give you an example because Director Turnbull was traveling and he likes to chat in the airport. And so the lady at the counter in Texas said, why did you guys pull the second flight? And she's at the American counter. She's their rep. And we're like, it wasn't our decision. Right? She's like, the demand for the destination is crazy. But as the commissioner said, we're feeling the pinch of, the airline industry having to use the pool of pilots and all the service people they have to accommodate. And because we are part of the matrix, we received some cuts as well.
Definitely. Well, what I try to tell our people and our partners and in the private sector is, we're managing it and we're doing an effective job of managing it. But our job is to communicate the realities. So, like I mentioned, we are in this bit of turbulence and headwinds. We anticipate that as long as we keep doing what we need to do in terms of improvements on our products along the line, having new properties open, and our marketing efforts. We have a new marketing campaign that kicks off next week. We just redid the website. We have a new tag for the US. All of these things keep us fresh and top of mind.
Pinch the tag. Naturally in rhythm.
Tell us again.
It's naturally in rhythm.
Naturally in rhythm. I love it.
And it's all about the 5 senses and the fact that the Caribbean has a natural rhythm.
Yes.
It's in our food, it's in our music,
Yes.
it's in our people, it's in our energy.
So that makes me want to now ask about how's the collaboration with our local vendors, the local industry here? How are we pulling everything together to accommodate our guests, the visitors that come? What are we doing specifically?
I think that, we did the Google optimization program, and that was one of two phases. We'll do the second phase with the start of this new fiscal year. And that program was for anybody in the tourism industry.
Okay.
And that helped you sharpen your presence online.
Yes.
Because, the research shows that most people, it won't be me and you researching in our family, but somebody in your family goes online, does the research. And if your Google presence is strong, that means you're on first page. It gives you the referrals. It increases business.
Yes.
And so we want to continue to increase programs like the Google optimization and then do more customer training in this quarter.
Yeah, and I'll just add, one of the things that we hope our local businesses do is call our tourism office. If you have a business and you want to get your business, whether it's a bar, whether it's an excursion, whether it's your own Airbnb, whether it's your own boutique hotel ideas, call us, right? Because we're in the business every day. We have partners that work with us. And I'll give you one little anecdotal piece that's supported by data. If you have two restaurants on the same street and they both sell the similar cuisine, and one of those restaurants has a picture or pictures of their restaurant and the other does not.
Correct.
The restaurant that does multiple times better is the restaurant with pictures.
Yes,
and this is not, this doesn't
We are
have
visual
anything to
people.
do with whether the food is good, whether the service is good. It's just when they research and they see that picture pop up, that's where people move. And what we're trying to tell our people, and we have, as Alani mentioned, the second phase of our introduction of what you could do to help your business, particularly in these times. That is part of it. All you have to do is take a picture, get it to us. We'll help you through our partners get your presence up, because this is what people do and this is how they look. And part of the Google training was it showed you, hey, if you do these simple things, and I call them simple because they're best practices, but unfortunately, it's not that our people or people in anywhere don't know. It's just that nobody's really told them, hey, if you do this, this, and this is how your presence improves.
So it's so great to hear all the amazing ways that we are helping our local vendors. But now let's talk about the infrastructure. We talked about the improvements and making sure that we can put out the best products. So what changes or improvements to infrastructure are we going to see or are already being made?
Yeah, I think one of the first things we try to do on all three main islands is to make sure that the visitor experience is a premium and is thought about. So whether it's having restrooms in heavy trafficked areas that are clean, whether it's making sure that the trash is picked up. But as important as the trash being picked up is having trash bins available. 9 out of 10 people do not want to litter. So if they see a trash can, they'll drop it in. If they see a trash can within 20 feet, they'll drop it. But if you don't have any trash bins or receptacles available, then that leads. So our job is we're trying to find ways to make it easier for our residents and our visitors to have things that we all like, right? So we want clean bathrooms, we want to have a clean appearance. And I think we are trying to do that. We have projects going on, and Alani could speak more directly to the bathrooms. And the
especially
kiosks.
for like our overnight guests.
Sure. And I want to say thank you to our partners, Department of Public Works, Department of Property and Procurement, Sports Park and Recreation. Commissioner White would kill me if we don't talk about Sports Park and Recreation. There are a number of agencies that have assisted us. Property and Procurement is taking the lead on the downtown bathrooms with their renderings, and they've started the work. And Administrator Avery Lewis has been critical in a number of projects. And it's not just what we see, it's the off the beaten path. It's the calls from the community that says the road by the lighthouse needs enhancement. And we make 6 o'clock calls in the morning to the Department of Public Works and say, can you please assist us?
Tourism is all of us.
It's all of us.
Yes.
So, but I mean, the bathrooms, you see there's movement with the kiosks downtown for Vendors Plaza. The renderings I know have been shared. I think within a month we should have a nice shiny Vendors Plaza in St. Thomas.
And I think one of the things that we should all be mindful of, right, is that we stay in a competitive environment. So people compare St. Thomas, St. Croix, and St. John to their other places of vacation. And one of the things we try to tell people is in the pandemic, most people think that the USVI's competition was Jamaica, Dominican Republic, or St. Martin. No, our competition was Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando. Those were our top 3 destinations, and San Juan. So when we talk about it, it's not what we traditionally think.
Correct.
We have the data, we have the analytics, so we know where people were considering travel when they picked the USVI. We know where they chose if they didn't come to us. And
How
yes,
they searched.
How they searched.
Yes.
We have all of that information. And what's surprising to many is it wasn't the other Caribbean islands. It was places that the US traveler felt comfortable traveling to and going.
Comfort is so important, and
Correct.
making sure again that, especially for the overnight guests, that when you come to a place to visit, you want to go downtown. You want to be able to have the accommodations to feel comfortable, to feel at ease, to just enjoy the overall experience. And I just have to piggyback again on the fact that tourism is indeed all of us. So thank you so much for just providing the great information on the improvements that we can see, especially in our downtown area. So we're going to take a quick break. And after the break, we're going to be joined by Mr. Kirk Wixton of the new Frenchman's Reef Resort. Do stick and stay. Welcome back to the Press Box, and we are now joined by Kurt Wixton of the new Frenchman's Reef Resort. Now listen, you got a taste of what you can expect, and there are so many exciting features. There's gonna be a new look, lots of great new things. So tell us a little bit about what we can expect from the new Frenchman's Reef.
Sure, and thank you for hosting us, and Commissioner and everyone. It's great to see you. You know, Frenchman's Reef, as we all know, has been closed for a while. So we're excited. You know, we're just completing about a $400 million renovation.
Listen, everyone is excited, Kurt.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. You know, and I think that we have 2 brands now. We're going to bring back 2 luxury resorts. We've got the Westin, which will be up top, and then we have the Autograph Collection, which is going to be down below. People remember that as Morningstar.
Yes.
So I think that with our new design and bringing back a lot of the local culture, local design, we're going to have, you know, close to 500 rooms, which will help with tourism, help with lift,
We like
help with
that.
everything.
Yes.
So 6 new restaurants. And I think in general, it's just going to be a brand new property. Everybody has driven by it, flown by it, sailed by it, you know, and I think that everybody's excited to have it back, and so are we. So.
Yes. So if we were to like identify some new features, I know you talked about the restaurant, you talked about the whole rebranding, but any new features that when we step on the property, we're going to be like, wow.
Well, I hope you're going to say wow regardless. But, I think we're redoing Palm Court, which was down below, where it used to be tennis courts. So we saw that as a new venue to help with our group business, which is fantastic. I think when you drive into the resort, we have new tiki torches. We have our new dock is going to be completely reimagined. And I think overall, just the restaurants, it needed a facelift. We all know that.
Yes.
So we were able to provide, I think, just some new restaurants, whether it be Luna Mar, which will be Mediterranean kind of cuisine. Sugarfin is going to be kind of a rum bar with tapas and sushi.
Okay.
So I think just when you walk in, there's going to be a wonderful wow factor.
And a nice variety. We talked about how people just love when something is new and being able to experience something new and the new features, the word new in itself, right? So every time we say Frenchman's Reef, we're saying the new Frenchman's Reef. But let's talk about some of the challenges. So we're now to a great place, but how did we get there? Let's talk about some of the challenges that you faced.
Well, I think the biggest one, as we all suffered through, was COVID, and we had a management change, well, not a management change, an ownership change. And so that kind of changed our new palette of what they wanted. So then we obviously ran into some supply chain issues, as we know. So, I think those are the two biggest. Our new ownership came in and really wanted to uplift, thus the brand change from a Marriott to a Westin. And they've been great supporters for us. So, I think overall it was COVID, what was the biggest thing. And that put us back about 18 months.
So now everyone is excited. Everyone is curious. They want to know, will a reopening date be shared soon?
It will be.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you right now, but it's
You just
coming.
have to be patient.
It's coming.
Yes.
You've heard that for a while,
Yes.
but we are, we have furnitures in rooms and we're just doing the finishing touches. So very excited to release that date very soon.
Great.
You'll be the first to know.
Please,
Okay.
make sure that we are. Now, I know that we recently had a job fair, so we're making sure that we can get the employees, get everyone on board. So let's talk a little bit about the job fair that you had.
We just had one and it was such a success, and you hear about the states and everybody's trying to find workers and they can't do it. We were blessed to have just the quality, the talent of the local Virgin Islanders wanting to come back and, having conversations with them that they haven't worked in 2 years. And the history, moms were bringing their daughters and sons saying, my son needs a job. I'm like, well, we need him too, or her. So I think it was a smashing success. So,
in the previous segment, we were talking about how tourism is all of us. And the Virgin Islands, we are known for the hospitality and making sure that we can contribute to the industry. So that's really great to hear, especially to have our locals, be a part of this new Frenchman's Reef Resort. Let's talk about your thoughts on Frenchman's Reef coming back, the new Frenchman's Reef, and he talked about the 500 rooms, and we discussed hospitality and the hotel industry specifically.
Yeah, I think the Frenchman's Reef is iconic.
Yes.
I think if you talk to people that have been coming to the territory, whether it's one time back in 1985 or
we're gonna still call it. We're gonna still call it the Marriott Frenchman's Reef.
They remember the Frenchman's Reef,
Yes.
and whether it's cruise people that come into the Waco dock that sail right by it.
Yes.
So it is iconic. I think what is refreshing is that it's coming back, new and improved, separate properties under the Bonvoy flag. Which is great for us as a destination, because we do know and we appreciate that people move with the brands.
Correct.
And that's what they do. And then the brands help market for the territory.
There's brand loyalty. There's always brand loyalty.
So that helps. So anytime you have a new property and a branded property with a big one, that helps us as a destination. And I think the other thing that is refreshing is the embracing of our community, as Kurt just mentioned. So if you had a job fair, nobody was coming out, and nobody like, we don't know, they're coming out.
They want to be a part.
They
want to be a part.
And I think what I've learned being in this position, especially when we travel with other ministers from the Caribbean or other state directors or other DMO CEOs, what we find is that leisure guests, they really in today's world want to experience the destination, and there's no better way to do it than through the people. So when you sit down at breakfast and the person that brings you the coffee and gives you, and you say, well, what do you do? What did you do last night? Oh, we went to this little spot and we did this. Now all of a sudden that happens, And that comes through. So I was so happy to hear that the people came out because that's great. And then we have him, and of course,
He said the magic word for me. He said groups.
Groups.
Yeah, we're excited about groups coming
We
back.
love groups.
We have a lot of small groups coming in, but now with the new Frenchman's coming back online, we can now start pitching to our bigger groups, which
And
is great.
It's a great point. I mean, when we looked at really getting into, Q1, if you will, and the enthusiasm for not only us opening, but into 24, into 25.
Right.
And it's amazing just that people do want to come back. There's so many companies that have held events here and not being able to really come back. The demand is there, which is great. And then just on another note, for us, during the last few years, talking to the local community and the excitement of them coming to Mother's Day or Sunday brunch and things like that. So, I mean, there's two types of tourism. There's off island and then there's on island. And we really want to embrace local community and families to come back and enjoy the outlets, enjoy the beach, and just be part of the brand, if you will.
And I think it all works hand in hand because, as a local, as someone that lives here, I need to make sure that I can speak on the new Frenchman's Reef so that I can tell my family and friends away. And if I see someone downtown, exactly right, we are all ambassadors. So I just love the fact that we are finally going to be able to have the new Frenchman's Reef back soon. Date is coming soon, okay? Just be patient. The date is coming soon. But any final thoughts to anyone that's listening right now in maybe what they can expect, a little teaser, anything else you want to add before we go to break?
I think just come.
Just come.
I think
That's
really
perfect.
when you see it, it's going to lift a lot of people's spirits, bring back a lot of great memories. And that's what we're here for. Like Joseph said, it is the history of Frenchman's Reef, and it's coming back and bigger and better than ever.
Excellent, excellent. Well, great things here on St. Thomas. We talked about the redevelopment of Hotel and the Key on St. Croix. So the entire Virgin Islands, we're making sure that we are able to accommodate our guests, our visitors, everyone far and near. We are open. We are ready for business, right, Commissioner? Yes. One VI. We are definitely one VI. So also on St. Croix, we want you to take a look at the new King Christian Hotel by the Neighborhood Establishment. And we'll talk a little bit about that when we get back.
Our company was founded by a diverse group of professionals that over their long careers have focused on hospitality, design, and development. We formed the company together to hone in our beliefs of developing good, creating spaces that spur local economic growth through creating jobs and amenities that both serve the general public but also add new and unique offerings to the visitors to St. Croix. The King Christian Hotel has a long history in St. Croix. Originally built as part of the historical fort, and over the years, it was converted to a hotel. By the time we acquired the property, its best days were behind it. We wanted to bring the property back to life by adding modern conveniences as well as bring back the historical details that long ago was stripped away. Our restoration was extensive, from replacing the basic systems to a full re-envisioning and refinishing of all the rooms and public spaces. The King Christian Hotel now features 46 gorgeous rooms with modern furniture, a coffee shop and coffee roaster, a local homemade ice cream shop, a tropical breakfast restaurant called Caroline's, the Peacock Room, which hosts our front desk, and a Caribbean-themed tiki bar. And most recently, a waterfront restaurant featuring authentic contemporary Mexican food by an internationally renowned chef. In addition, we have activated our Affinity Edge pool deck and have a rooftop event venue that can host over 200 people overlooking the gorgeous Christiansted Harbor. Guests have been amazed by the transformation, seemingly experiencing the property for the first time. We recently acquired the Kings Alley Hotel and the vacant lot. The property will be re-envisioned as well and combined with the King Christian Hotel offering over 100 rooms with additional food and beverage locations, and as well as rebuilding the boat slip and providing parking for the hotel. We are excited to restore the historical ruins into active space on King Street. In addition, we are selected in a RFP for Protestant Key, signing the lease recently. We have extensive plans to breathe life back into the property, fully renovating and more than doubling the room count. Additionally, we are very excited to revamp the beach area and provide more amenities for beachgoers, not only visitors, but locals that are frequent visitors of the beach as well.
Thank you, Mr. Castellini, for allowing us to take a look at the new King Christian Hotel. You know, new is the magic word, right? We're talking about all of these new developments, new opportunities for our visitors and our guests, and I absolutely love it. That's going to make us talk about how we are balancing our efforts in terms of traditional marketing and really tapping into new areas where we can intertwine and incorporate our culture, the unique aspects of our culture. So let's talk about all of the work that goes into making sure that we can get the U.S. Virgin Islands out there to different markets, to different people, so they can know what we have to offer here.
Yeah, I'll jump in and I'll take the analytics side and then turn the marketing over to
To
Alan.
marketing, yes.
Yes. But I think one of the things that we've really done a effective job on as a destination marketing organization is really understanding where our pieces of marketing go. So whether that's on social media, whether that's digital media, whether that's connected TV, Hulu, and any of the other streaming platforms, whether it's the print media, Condé Nast Traveler, as an example, or what we all grew up in my generation watching is that big commercial on CNN, with the USV. I think things have evolved,
Yes.
and what sort of has really changed marketing for DMOs, destination marketing organizations, has been the pandemic. So what we found is that because people were home and people started to look at things differently, particularly the generation Z and the millennials, right? It's a different mentality. So when you and that's one of the things we did is we looked at our heat map, which is basically all the people that we could reach. And then we started to peel back the onion. We started to say, hey, we want to reach people who are interested in the Caribbean.
Yes.
And then we wanted to reach people who have an interest in the USVI, because it's much easier to sell new to somebody that's familiar with where you are and where you're going and open to traveling to the Caribbean and the USVI versus somebody that's sitting in the same town in Nebraska who's never even thought about the Caribbean.
Yes.
That's not their
It's not on
piece.
their list, yes.
So through our brand study work and our analysis that we do through our marketing agencies, we've come up with a very good analytical formula that helps us target certain people that will travel. So we're looking for wins. So we want not just a pretty ad, but we want somebody to make a decision. Go on and click. Oh, you visit USVI, I checked it out. Oh man, let me go. And then start to ask questions and then go to whoever you want to travel with. If you're traveling with your guys or your girls or your significant other or your kids or just by yourself.
Yes.
And say, this looks good. And then from there, what we also do is we then try to capture data from these clicks. Okay, so who is this person? What's their income? What did they do? How they do it?
That research helps everything.
Tremendously. And then what it does is we put it all in a pot, and then we have a dashboard, and we look and we say, okay, this is what's working well. This is what helps us. And then we use that to make decisions from a marketing standpoint. But also the part that people don't see is this helps us when we have conversations with the airlines. These are where people are coming from. We know we're going to do well here because this is the amount of money we're spending in that market. And then we could share with them the actuals. So when we get the actual information and we see that the flights are coming in 95% plus full and our occupancy rates in the territory are significantly above the rest of the region. We just were named #1 in the region at the CHTA conference 3 weeks ago. And this is of the best in the Caribbean.
Yes.
And the USVI was #1.
Say that one more time for
The
them.
USVI was named #1 destination from before the pandemic in terms of growth through the first
Excellent.
quarter, the first half of 2022.
I want to just add to that. What was impressive at CHTA is a lot of our competitors were spending heavily in the market.
See?
And we were still holding back, not knowing, and we were still #1. So imagine now when you allow me to put some foot in the game.
So what are we doing now? Going back to that original question about making sure that we can have the cultural aspects intertwined in our marketing.
It's interesting, and I'll say thank you to Mr. Casanelli because he just like the new Frenchman's has an iconic St. Croix property.
Correct.
King Christian is a staple
Yes.
to Christianstead. And that whole boardwalk experience is breathtaking. So to have new, shiny product
Yes.
in that area is a win-win, not only for the people of St. Croix and the community, of course, but also for us. When we hit the road, we have new, shiny things to share.
That's the word of the day.
And the media eats it up.
Of course.
The travel agents eat it up.
Of course.
So it helps when we make our pitch to the media, to the travel agents, to the tour operators, to the DMOs, to our domestic and international, because you know, the Danes love
course,
St.
yes,
Croix.
yes.
So anything you tell them new on St. Croix,
They're coming.
it just enhances the whole conversation. But we want to let the community know also to tell us when they have new things going on. And it doesn't matter if you're an older property and you're renovating something. A minor renovation is all it takes. A new restaurant, a new feature,
Correct.
a new local drink, or you add something to your dinner menu. It's a feature that I've learned in this industry. It only takes a penny's worth of information for something to go viral.
Excellent.
And then it just helps us sustain our momentum.
So before we go to break, what would be that if we were to maybe identify just 3 things that sets us apart? What would those 3 things be?
I think it would be first our people. I think we're genuine. We're not new to tourism, so we've been in tourism for
Correct.
decades.
Not
so we
new to this.
appreciate
Yes,
the
yes,
tourists
yes.
that come. And I think you see it every day when people move around. We don't harass the tourists. They're almost part of our fabric.
Correct.
I think the second thing is that we are used to U.S. territory. We do not run in the Department of Tourism for the United States Virgin Islands that we are U.S. When we go on the road, we talk, we are U.S. You don't need a passport to come to us.
No
And
passport
we take
required.
pride in the fact that we are a part of the United States. And I think lastly, and what we learned throughout the pandemic is it's important to be comfortable in who you are. So we're not the biggest, we're not the showiest, but we believe we're the best
Yes.
because of what we have to offer.
Correct.
So we accept that we 3 small islands in the middle of the Caribbean with the best beaches and the best people and the best food.
Yes.
What more can you want?
Listen, everything that you need is right here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So we're going to take a quick break and come back and continue the conversation. We're going to talk about the cruise ship industry. We'll be right back.
Welcome to the Virgin Islands. Oh na na, oh na na na. Reconnect with paradise. The VI smiles with me, with her embers of the seas. The Virgin Islands, they are calling out to me. The VI smiles with me, with her embers of the seas. The Virgin Islands, they are calling out to me. There's a special slice of paradise that lies in the Caribbean, where the warmth of the people greets you at every turn. Through their passion, you're going to live moments you will always remember. Savor our traditional flavors and explore the depths of the bluest ocean. Here, it's all about culture, history, and heart. If you want to feel the soul of the Caribbean, come to St. Croix and experience a vibe like no other.
So we're certainly not boasting that we're the top destination in the Caribbean, but we love that. We absolutely love it. And our cruise ship passengers, they love it too. I mean, we talked about having overnight guests, but there's another segment of guests, and those are our cruise ship passengers. So let's talk about the cruise industry and what can we look forward to the upcoming cruising season.
Yeah, I think, well, first off, we welcome our cruise guests and our cruise partners back to the territory. I think that, one of the myths we try to correct is that you don't have to be either overnight or land destination or a cruise destination. You can be both.
Correct.
And actually, we are illustrating that. So right now, we have our cruise guests back. The 23 season is much closer to the 2019 season, much faster than we thought. So the ships that are coming in now are coming in at 100% occupancy. And if you asked us, people in the industry 6 months ago, we were thinking maybe 70, 75%. But the ships are coming in full, which helps. And I think the other thing for us is many of the people who first are introduced to the territory come on a cruise ship. So that's their first, and then they could decide to come back for a week or 5 days. And I think the next piece for us is, when we look at the cruise traveler, I think we went through a unique time during COVID where we didn't have any ships. We went 15 months without a ship. And before the pandemic, 70% of our visitors came on a cruise ships. And I think, when I, just growing up here and remembering, I could not remember any time where there were no ships.
No ships,
Nothing,
yes,
right?
That was rare.
In here in St. Thomas. And then I think now that we're starting to see sort of the world, come back to where we used to be. People are back working, kids are back in school. And so the flexibility that people had, has shifted now. And that's where you need to have that backbone of your tourism product. And for us, it has been cruise.
Correct.
So we have the ships back. We're very appreciative of it. We believe the season is going to be strong on both St. Thomas and St. Croix.
Okay, let's make sure we get that in, right?
For a long time, we know St. Thomas has been very, very strong. But Royal Caribbean and the Port Authority and the governor and his team have been in conversations along with tourism with Royal Caribbean. Expected beginning this season, the season of 23, expected to see a threefold increase in cruise passengers into St. Croix, so 140,000 plus passengers in, which is huge. But it's not only huge in the sense of people coming, but it provides entrepreneurial opportunities.
And that's what I was gonna add also in terms of the partnership with Royal Caribbean, even Port Authority, with all of our entities here. How are we reshaping the whole cruise passenger experience, even with our infrastructure? In a nutshell, what are some things that we're adding or improving?
Yeah, I think for us, right, for the destination and the territory really to achieve what we need to achieve, it can't just be the government, right?
Yes.
It can't be Department of Tourism or Port Authority. It has to be the private sector and the government collaboratively working. Mm-hmm. So what we need is we can bring the people, right? And we do.
Yes.
But what the people need are opportunities and ways to experience.
Yes.
So I think that what that does is it gives opportunities for entrepreneurs. I think one of the best success stories I've seen throughout the pandemic and now that we're in the endemic are some of our young entrepreneurs that own power boats and boats that moved around.
Yes.
They
The
used to just have them. They had it.
The excursions, yes.
You can speak to that, the marine industry, Alan.
Yeah, because, we talked about the three major things that set us apart, but I think overall we have to say it was all under leadership.
True.
We have a governor and a lieutenant governor that embraces our vision, that supports our vision. And the commissioner, as the front of this vision, can attest to that, that when decisions were made, we were able to capitalize because we had open doors. And the marine industry, for one, was a prime example.
Yes.
Where we were shuttered in and couldn't touch, the sea was an open,
wide open,
polka, right?
Yes.
So it was amazing to see. We have two major boat shows coming up, November and December, here in St. Thomas, and then you just see and hear the reports that they're booked for a year out.
Excellent.
It's solid booking.
Excellent.
Day charter, week charter, it doesn't matter. Our industry has blossomed. You see the moorings coming back. You see BVI and USVI looking at partnerships because, it's blossomed to a point where now it's beneficial on both sides. And we just need to make sure we capture the market to this area.
So the partnerships, the improvements, the experiences, all of these things working together collectively to ensure, like you said, that even our cruise passengers, because they're loyal too. There are some folks on an annual basis, they're on a cruise, right? So we have
and
to
the
make
buzz trending is making the U.S. Virgin Islands so appealing that everybody's like, okay, well, we can't stay there overnight. We're gonna make sure that they're on our, itinerary. itinerary.
Correct. Yes. Wonderful. Listen, I'm so thrilled to always hear about the great things that are happening at the Department of Tourism, because it impacts every single aspect of our Virgin Islands culture, the Virgin Islands people, everything that we have to offer. So I before we even transition, I have to say again, kudos to your entire team and for the work that you're doing. Tourism never stops. Even though there's a season, right? There's always work behind the scenes. There's always, ways between the marketing efforts, the partnerships, the collaborations, trying to get the developments. Work is always being done. So we are going to have an opportunity for you before we wrap up today for any closing thoughts, but we're going to take a quick break. And I know that St. Croix, they have the redevelopment of Hotel on the Key, the new King Christian Hotel, but what they're really ready for is the Crujan Christmas Festival, right? So we're gonna take a quick break and we're gonna be back to talk more about all that you can expect for this upcoming Crujan Christmas Festival season. We're excited about it, so we'll be right back.
Oh, you mean you don't want dance? Well, look who it is. You see that girl? She ready, yes, she ready now. One clap, just like that. She ready now. She ready, yes, she ready now. Give me two clap, boy, she bubble on top. She ready now. Bad girl don't take chat. You got the whole place locked. Every time I see you walk out, every girl I chat to your back. You got the cheat code, bend over, beast mode, island to island. We know when you touch road.
So the excitement has been building for 2 years. We have been without a Crujan Christmas Festival on the Big Island of St. Croix. If ever they were ready, they are ready now. They've been ready. They've been waiting patiently. I know that everyone has already made their arrangements. Everything is booked. Listen, we are here with our director of the Division of Festivals, Mr. Ian Turnbull. Ian, let's talk about the next big fete for the VI, the Crujan Christmas Festival. And welcome, by the way.
Thank you for having me, Shayla, at Pressbox. I'm really excited, man.
Yes, everybody's excited.
This is going to be the first one with no COVID restrictions, no sitting down with department ahead, So the gloves is off.
Okay,
and
great.
So, we're really excited about it. I want to give a big kudo, a big shout out to, the St. Croix team, Shamari.
Yes.
He was trying to make it,
That's
man.
Mr. Fett himself,
Yeah,
yes.
and he's ready to go, but the rain stopped him today. Rain stopped that carnival today. But so we're really excited, man. We have a kickoff. We just had an event that we collaborated this past weekend with Alvin Burke. Carnival Meets the Runway.
Yes.
That was a success.
Yes.
People enjoyed that. They got to see some of the costumes. We're just, like the people, Crucians, they're going to pick up their own terms. And they call it Road to Festival. So I've kind of hashtagged it. Yeah.
And shout out to Alvin and everyone. We talked about the word ambassador, persons who really have such a vested interest in the place that we call home. And one of the things that we are going to forever be tied to, is the culture, the camaraderie through our festivals. So let's talk about the plans. And the first thing I want you to do is just throughout the dates, in case someone has been under a rock and they're not paying attention, what are the dates they need to put in their leave slip for right now so they could get the time to be on St. Croix?
So, So that's what I was about to actually say. So there's like two time frames, right? There's There's I would say December 4th all the way to January 7th, right? And then
Amount of leave for.
It might get
and then there's of course the major week
Correct.
of activities
Yes.
which we use as our marketing selling point, which is
Yes.
December 30th to January
Correct,
7th.
correct.
And so, you know, we encourage people, if you can't make it for the whole month, right?
For that week, right?
Just come for that week. You know, it's a good little 9-day clip. And you can't go wrong. We have a food fair.
That's what, you gotta go through the list.
Yeah, I'm
Tell
gonna
us
go through
what
it.
we have.
I'm gonna go
Yes.
through it. So of course on the 11th you have Prince and Princess, right? I know I mentioned the 4th. We partner with different cultural groups in the island. Crucian Cultural Group, Miss Vivian Flood and them, they're doing their event. You know, there's also the Coconut Crucian Festival. So these are events that we don't necessarily manage, but we want to help them because that is what the Division of Festivals is about. It's about partnering with these different groups and making sure that everybody gets their shine and we can expand the culture. Then on the 18th of December, we have the Prince and Princess show, pageant. Queen show, yeah. Hemi Prince and Princess, the Queen show. The Princess is on the 11th. And then after that, we have on the 28th, we have the Calypso Monarch.
And this
That
is
gonna be
the
big.
70th anniversary for
Don't forget
the
it,
Crucian
yeah.
Christmas Queen competition. I met the contestants. It's going to be a dynamic show, so make sure that you're there to support the young ladies.
Thank you for your work with the workshop with them.
Yes.
And then on the 28th, like I said, we have the Calypso Monarch, and then the village opens on the 30th.
Nice.
And that village night is going to be a cultural night. One of the big changes, just showing anecdotally, is on the for Food Fair, which will be on the 4th of January. That event is going to be expanded. We're going down Vern I. Richards Memorial Park.
Okay.
As opposed to keeping it right there in that one little area, we're going to expand it. So, in St. Thomas, there's like 100, 200 vendors, right? Them Crucians already, they already meeting that number. So the food fair vendors are going to be out and about.
Nice.
A lot of
Yes,
culture
yes.
coming out. So that's something that's new and impressive. It's going to go down the whole of Strand Street. The police department say you guys are good to go. So,
We're locked in.
yeah, we're locked in.
Good.
The village night starts from again December 30th all the way to the 7th of January.
Okay.
Juve is on the 5th.
Okay.
Soca Monarch is on the 4th, the night before. And then Children's Parade on the 6th, Adults Parade on the 7th.
So no rest that week. No rest at
No
all.
rest for the week.
You drink
None
your
at all.
water right now, take your vitamins, make sure you get all of that in. So I know that there are going to be our signature events. You talked about the food fair, you talked about the Juve, our Calypso competitions. Are there going to be any major or new additions this year?
So back in 2019, we did something that was called Good Morning St. Croix.
Okay.
It was a breakfast fete that we did on the highway. Again, one of the things, and I applaud Commissioner for this, having this, giving promoters and other individuals in the community an opportunity. So we have various promoters that are doing different events.
Okay.
And so that's, we rather give them support, let them do it, so that we can perfect, what we're doing, and let these other groups, put them in a position to be able to expand on Carnival. Because if you go anyplace else, that's what's happening.
Correct.
The Carnival product is not really sold, by the local government, in an excessive way. They do it, but the major people who are putting into it is actually the community. So we wanna be diverse in balancing that and making sure that.
If I could just add, I think one of the things that we have through the law that was established by the Senate is the Division of Festival oversees the three main
Correct.
Carnival
Yes.
festival events, right?
Yes.
But part of our vision, led by Ian and our team and festivals, is we want to make sure that it's not just a government function,
Yes.
right? Because and we have to look at the business side, right? Because one of the things we really take pride in is making sure that there is a return. So we're not
Yes.
just out spending the money to say, hey, we have X dollars that are budgeted by the Senate and the governor approves in the budget. We want to make sure that we invest in particular areas, i.e. some of these day fests that talked about. But what the connection is that we see, that we're building on, and that some of the promoters see, is that's how you bring people into the territory, right? Because remember now, those of us that work, We walk in the day.
Yes.
But people who coming in to
They're
Fed,
visiting, yeah.
they don't have
Something
anything to do
during
in
the
the day.
day.
So they want activities in the day.
Yes,
And one of the things that we continue to look at is the feeders. That's part of their decision.
Yes.
So if you come in and say, hey man, you have great village nights, and oh, by the way, they're free, oh, that's good. So what am I doing in the day?
Correct.
And then you have now a list of activities in the day now. So guess what?
Yes.
For us on the business side, that means they're buying a ticket.
Correct.
That means they're paying the hotel occupancy
Yes.
tax. That means they're coming in spending food every day at the restaurants or in the village or moving around the island. So the part that we do take very seriously is the business side of it and the
Yes.
economic engine that comes out of the festival activities.
Correct.
So we hear over the years, we believe that Carnival bring this, or Festival bring this, or St. John Celebration bring this. But we capturing it because we
Yes.
want our community to say, hey, continue to invest in tourism and festivals, and we will share with you the returns that come out of what we do.
Exactly.
We bring the heads in bed.
Yes.
What the community and the private promoters do is get them out the bed.
They,
So now
they need
they're
something to
spending.
correct.
So
Correct.
the money keeps falling
Yes,
to the community.
yes.
So
And
it's
then
more community enhancement.
we're able to compete because, you know, you go anywhere else and there's something all day, all night
night.
to do, right? So you're not just limited now. We have expanded, we have given you multiple opportunities. Again, not just to spend your coin, but to enjoy the experience as well. So listen, I am just head over heels with everything that's coming out of the Division of Festival, the Department of Tourism. I know for a fact it's been a long time, St. Croix. We know that you are ready. I'll let you say any final thoughts before we transition to our commissioner to wrap up today's Pressbox episode. Anything else that you need them to know for
Yes.
this Crucian Christmas Festival?
So, again, I just want to thank the people at St. Croix, being patient, our
Yes,
partners
yes.
over there. We have a event coming up on the 6th, which is going to be the pageant presentation
Okay.
show. That's going to be at the Reading Rainbow facility. Get your tickets. Tickets will be available on Monday, this Monday
Okay.
coming. So we definitely want you to come out and support the pageant and the queens and the contestants and the kids.
Yes.
And then, of course, again, if you live in St. Thomas, you live in St. John, book your flight, or just jump on somebody's boat and come across. Jump on somebody. I mean, if you will make the flight, because they're booking up fast,
Yes, yes.
And, for any more information, we're going to be releasing the lineup shortly.
Okay, 'cause they wanna know that
I know
too.
they want to know that. We're going to be releasing that before Thanksgiving comes
Okay.
out. Just, signing my last bit of documents and so forth. And then, of course, just want people to, come through and enjoy our culture.
Excellent.
Enjoy our culture and support tourism.
Without a doubt, we know they're going to enjoy it. Without a doubt, we know that they have been longing for it. Commissioner, it has been so great having you and Assistant Commissioner Henman Todman on today. I will allow closing remarks from you first. Any final thoughts you want to just sneak in there before we go to our commissioner?
Thank you to our team. I know we talked about a lot of things, but we don't talk about the visitor experience and how our team works behind the scenes,
Yes.
stranded passengers, injured
Yes.
tourists and visitors.
Yes.
And, I just want to thank our team for always standing behind us. Sometimes you don't see the vision until you're in the trenches, but being in the trenches with this team proves that, we are a strong team. We're better
Excellent.
together.
Excellent, excellent, Commissioner.
Well, I kudos thanking the people and our team. I want to close by thanking Governor Bryan and Lieutenant Governor Roach for having the confidence and faith in our Department of Tourism to take the lead in keeping our economy strong throughout the pandemic. I think we all were very concerned throughout the process because it was a difficult time, and we know from just being active in the market that it was concerning, but there was also a need. And people needed to release. And we were happy to be able to be that place for many people. And then lastly, I just want to say, the sincerest thank you to our community, because we could not have done what we did throughout the pandemic and in the endemic if our community did not embrace. So that's the restaurant owners, that's the people on the front line in the supermarkets, that's the people at the airport. What people have to understand is when we had that portal and the National Guard, everybody coming in and out, and all the taxi and the red cap and the people at the airline counters, these are the ones that made us number one. Yes, we went out and promoted, and yes, the governor and the team and the health commissioner, we did what we needed to do, keep safe. But the people on the front line that were there with the smiles when our visitors and residents, because I think one of the things we forget during the pandemic, a lot of our people came back to spend time home. And those are the ones that help us there. So thank you sincerely from my heart and our team's heart for keeping us there. We look forward to defending the mantle as we move forward. And I think the Cruise and Christmas Festival gives us a nice springboard into the upcoming season.
Yes, indeed. Well, I cannot thank you all enough. Thank you to the Department of Tourism and Division of Festivals for being our guests on today's episode of the Press Box, and also Kurt Wixton of the New Frenchman's Reef. And just a reminder that there is a vaccine available for children ages 4 months to 6 months to 4 years old. So we still want to make sure that everyone continues to be safe in our community. And we want you to stay tuned to the Press Box for the next episode. And of course, we look forward to seeing you on the big island of St. Croix for the Cruisian Christmas Festival. Enjoy, and we'll see you next time.